Well, hello, everybody. Mary Grace Brigg here, host of the Teach and Profit Summit. And here with me is Sheila Paxton. I love her topic that we're going to be covering. But first off, I just want to welcome her to the stage, Sheila.
Thank you. It's so great to be with you.
I am excited, and I'm sure our listeners are as well. And I really want to thank you for sharing your expertise and your time with us again. You are one of the person that I always look up to and look forward to connecting and sharing your experience, learning from you. So first off, before I get too excited here, share your expertise, share your background with us. How did you get started that led you to doing what you're doing today?
Well, it's interesting because, today what I'm working on is helping coaches and other experts to leverage their intellectual property, their time, et cetera. And we're going to talk about that more. But that's been kind of a theme of my careers. I started in corporate America, working for other people and, climbed the ladder and worked really hard. I was in training and development, organizational development, and instructional design. And I'm also a professional speaker. So I've been doing that for years and running companies also. So it's very, very background, but to really bring me closer to where we are today, at one point I was the senior vice president of a company called Career Track, which was one of the largest training companies in the United States. I was in charge of product development and client development. And so what I saw, this is back in 1998, so I'm going to date myself just a little, but I saw that there was a future, not just in the stand-up training where you bring facilitators in and people sit and listen and interact, but that we could use this brand new web as a base for just interactive modeling and simulations and animation. And because Career Track had so much intellectual property, I thought, well, let's take the content that we have and let's turn it into some web-based training. So I put in a proposal to the owners of the company, and they said, and it was a great business case. I built the whole model, all the stuff you do as a business person, and showed them the ROI. And they said to me, not only are we not going to fund this, we're selling the company. And that's the first I had heard of it. And I thought, oh no, because who usually goes, right? When you sell a company, top management. So I thought, well, I'm going to venture out on my own and take this idea and put together a group of people who were colleagues of mine. I found my first client who gave me a 6-figure contract, paid half of it up front because he knew my work. We had worked together for some years, and he paid half of it up front so I could capitalize a business, starting a business. So I never had to be in debt in that business, which was just a complete miracle. And we grew the company meteorically. We had clients like AT&T and Proctor Gamble and American Express and CNA Insurance, where we were working on designing this amazing learning that they could leverage. And so that business went great. In about 2.5 years. We grew to just under $7 million in revenue. And then it was the technology boom, and the company approached me and said, we want to buy your company. And I thought, wow. And that's when everybody was buying tech businesses. I sold my business, and I realized I was too young to retire. What do I do next? And so I had a passion for relationships. And that's another whole long story in itself, working through my own broken relationships, that I went back, more schooling, because that's what we do as coaches. We're always doing education, attended Seton Hall, worked on my master's in family therapy and relationship specialty. And then I became a certified relationship coach with accredited Relationship Coaching Institute. So there I am. I'm starting to coach, and I develop a process called Fit for Love. And in this process of Fit for Love, we took people, and because my theory is a lot of times people repeat the same relationship patterns and mistakes over and over again. And Marie Grace, I'm sure you've seen friends and things like that. They keep picking the wrong kinds of people, and they end up unhappy. So I put together a system where it was built on understanding how and why you're attracted to certain kinds of people, what triggers they are. We don't go back and try to recount the past, but it's working on what's present and how we can change the behaviors right then to lead to not a disastrous relationship, but to something that's loving and lasting and values-based. So I started coaching, and my coaching practice filled up. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, here I am. I've been a businesswoman. I've always leveraged the intellectual capital of my companies and companies I've worked for. And here I am trading time for dollars and thinking something's not right. And I was exhausted. And so it hit me. Why not train other coaches that are in life coaching or personal development or in relationships already? Train them in the Fit for Love process. And then they can go and work with other people globally. And then what I'm free to do is grow the business like I'm supposed to. And so I put together a program because of my instructional design background. It was easy for me. And then I thought, what's going to give me credibility? What's going to make me different from everybody else? I can say I have a certification program, but certified by whom? So I did some research, and I found the International Coach Federation, that they accredit coaching programs for continuing education credits for their coaches. And I'm thinking, what a great thing to have on my website, right? Their logo. So I worked through this onerous process of getting my program accredited by ICF. They accredited it the first time through. I was contacted by one of the reviewers who said, we almost never do this. You don't even come back for questions. So that was exciting. I put the ICF logo on my website, and then I put the word out and started training coaches in my process. So here I am having a great time building a business, building coaches. We had coaches in 13 countries. And a number of them are still practicing. I've transitioned from Fit for Love and sold the intellectual property to a colleague of mine and just using it under a different name. And so, there I was. And one of our colleagues, and Marie Grace, I think you know this person whose name I won't mention, but she calls me up and she said, I'm watching what you're doing. And she was in the relationship space too. She said, can you teach me how to turn my program into something I can certify other coaches to teach? And I had also developed with my attorney, lots of legal help, a licensing agreement for my coaches. So I was getting passive revenue along with everything else that was going on. So I thought, and I said to her, you're a direct competitor of mine, and I love you dearly, but I'm not really quite sure about that. And then it was my brain opened up. Instead of being closed, it was expansive. And I thought, this is another business. That I bet there's other coaches who have good programs, who want to know how to leverage what they have. It's not just this person, there's other people. So I put together a pilot program, I invited people in, and sure enough, it was just over 2 years ago, and we've been holding classes ever since and really helping people to change the absolute nature of the way they do their coaching practice. So that's an abbreviated version of what got me to here today.
Well, I love how you really shared us those journey, how you get started from one thing to another. And wow, I have really great respect for you, not just for who you are, but the experience that you have coming from leveraging that. Coming from designing courses in companies or corporates. And now you completely built a business in a different area or different niche. coming from designing courses to big companies to creating courses for relationships, becoming a relationship coach. I think that really, a testament to your business with your passion to building businesses and helping people leverage what they know. Because I was thinking, wow, could you imagine the thinking that you have? I hope our listeners were really listening, because that's how you think really as a business person. You know where the opportunities are, and you know when to take on that opportunity. Because look at it now. You saw that opportunity. Well, I can leverage this, because who doesn't want leverage time, leverage income, especially creating passive income? This is beautiful. So I love that you shared that one, like these events that, that from each of this that you've been through. I love it. There's a lot of wisdom in there. So, okay, so let's talk about this program certification. What is it, and why program certification? Why? I know one of the benefits of that one is creating leverage and then passive income, but why so our audience here, they are here to learn how to package their expertise, their passion into programs that they can create wealth, income, and freedom for themselves and their loved ones. So one of the ways to monetize that one is what you do, multiplying yourself, certifying others so that you can leverage your time and their time too, and creating a passive income from it. So it's really another source of leveraging your expertise. So let's talk about if there's one thing that will really convince them or inspire them to look into this one, because now they have this real intellectual property there that already created, and program certification, certifying others to teach this is a no-brainer. So what would be one thing that will really inspire them to add this to their arsenal of ways to monetize their expertise?
Well, think about, and Marie Grace, think about for yourself. Why did you get into coaching? Okay. What got you here?
Well, besides the freedom and the lifestyle that I know I can have, I think at the end of the day, I want to be able to contribute. I want to be able to give back. Nothing feels so gratifying than knowing that somebody out there, you've helped, improve their lives or achieve what they want to achieve in life. That is so fulfilling. So besides freedom and the lifestyle, because I wouldn't trade it going back to corporate, it's the contribution, the sense of fulfillment in what I do, that I'm able to help other people.
Perfect. And that's so beautiful, because that's why most of us go into coaching. It's because we have discovered a very unique skill, a talent, a calling, and we are able to change lives of other people, right? We are there to, our legacy is the work that we do with others. And I have no idea of the ripple effect that my work in relationships did, on happy marriages. Actually, I was invited to a wedding of two clients of mine that met each other. And the way that they were doing the relationship, one of them said to the other, "Do you know Sheila Paxton?" And he said, "She's my coach." And she said, "She's my coach too." They got married. They invited me to the wedding. They had a child. The child is now 3 years old, and they're working on another child. And there it is. Look at the ripple that our work does. And that's one person. So in there, the question that you asked is what's that driving force for us? So the first driving force for me, I have a personal mission statement. And my personal mission, it goes to my business too, for program certification formula. And that mission is to be of maximum service. That's the whole first part. And have fun. I need to be having fun while I'm working with my clients, just in life, enjoying, being grateful. So the part of being maximum service, if I'm teaching all this stuff myself, right? And I'm only getting out to a limited network, because I can do joint ventures and other people mail for me and I reach their tribes. But what about all of the other, that are 3-4 levels removed from me? I can't reach them. And if I have an inspired message to share, and my message now is to help people free up their time. So many of us are working nonstop. Let's work smarter. And let's have the impact that we were put on this earth to have. And you do that by bringing in partners, by bringing in others, teaching them how to do what we do, and then letting them go and reach out and touch people that we'll never know about.
Exactly. I mean, you said it so brilliantly, and there is nothing better than being able to duplicate ourselves and get other people to do it, because it will multiply tremendously faster. I mean, what a brilliant strategy. I mean, come to think about it. I was thinking, wow, I mean, if I coach 10 people, this 10 coaches in turn coach another 10, and then this another 10, it's endless. I mean, we can cover the whole billion people in the planet just by doing that. It's humongous effect by doing that. I love it. Okay, so all right, so I think we've covered the what and the why of all this, and I'm sure they're now inspired, or at least motivated or convinced of the benefits of doing this. So let's show them the mechanics, the logistics, the how part of creating a program certification, because probably they're wondering, well, I'm wondering myself too, well, okay, what are the steps? What are the logistics? What are the infrastructures that we have to take care of? Those things. So let's show them. And I know you'll be sharing with us your screen, but let us know if this is the right time for it, or
yes, this is a perfect time for us to do that. So let me open that up. Mm-hmm. And what you're seeing there is our portal. Mm-hmm. So when I'm working with coaches and helping them to develop their certification programs, we have, a full service portal that it's combined self-study and then one-on-one, class that I have live classes. And then also I have office hours every week. So there's lots of being able to work with me and also being able to go through the program. So as I was developing my program, this is what I did step by step that got my program accredited and got it so that I was seeing results. And so I'm going to step back for just a second. And the important part here is to have a good signature program to start with. And it doesn't even have to be finished because part of what I do is I offer a short course before somebody takes this course in finishing up your signature program and testing it and how to have a pilot and how to get proof of concept. So, I've worked with people that aren't fully launched yet. However, most of our participants have their signature program. And so I took a look at exactly deconstructed what I did and how I worked with people. And I developed the steps here, and they're in modules. But the first one was the approach. And that is that I wanted people to understand the difference between good programs and amazing programs. I've taken a lot of online programs, and most of them are good. And I think there's been maybe 2 amazing programs. And you know what the difference between good and amazing is? It's being able to support the learner, the participant, to implement the ideas. So it's really helping facilitate that transformation and then giving tools and techniques to keep it going. So that's the really important part of it there. And so that's an excellent program. So what we first do is we talk about your program's approach. How do you approach learning? And what's the difference between learning and doing? And putting a lot of interactive exercises in your program, etc. So that's kind of the first thing we do. And then we talk about program design. How do adults learn? And, there's 4 different learning styles and stuff I can get into in the future, but we all learn differently. And how do you develop a program that really gets to all the different learning styles? And when I'm working with coaches, all of their learning styles and all of their experience. And so then we get to structure and organize. And I talk about putting modules together and having learning bites, chunk-sized pieces that, your overall program gives a promise, but every little piece you teach has its own little mini promise. And we pull those out. And then you can see, really use those promises as the benefits when you're marketing your program. And then we talk about how to really hook and engage a learner. And now then we get to the leverage part of it, which is finding other people, training them, and how do you know when they're ready to carry your brand? Because your brand, and Marie Grace, you've worked for years and hard on your brand. I don't want just any person going out and representing my brand. So how do I know that they have the confidence and the competence to represent my brand? So we talk about all the techniques to do that. And then I work with people who are interested in getting their programs accredited with the ICF. I help fill out the application and give you everything you need to get it accepted the first time. And I think we've had 75 people in the program. It's gone through the program in the last 2 years. And of those 75, probably 50% have submitted. And of those people who have submitted to the ICF, 100% have gotten approved first time. So that's a really good track record too. But I take you through the process. It was really hard for me to do that. And then we go to when now you certify your coaches. But there's a side piece I work on, which is licensing your content. So imagine sitting back, not only are you having this amazing impact on people, but now, and I have templates for program development. Everything I'm talking to you about, I've templatized. So you can just go in and fill them out. And, with my support. But we have a template that was constructed by my copyright attorney that people are free to use, customize for their own situation. And usually I like to recommend that you talk to a local attorney and make sure that it works in your area. There's no exposure. But now you've got revenue, passive revenue coming in. And so I teach you from soup to nuts, and I talk with my people about the steps, exact step by step. Because at first it sounds like, oh my gosh, what do you mean certify other people teach my program? I have no idea how to do that. We don't need to know how to do that because I know how to do that. And I take people step through step until the program is done. So that's really the how. And I like to use this platform that has like a whole resource section. So what you're seeing now is every module has resources, slides and forms and templates. And so we go through, and you can, my participants can come back and to download forms and a program development template and just all of the stuff that we've got to just make this as seamless, as easy as possible. So all you have to do is follow the steps and you're ready to certify others.
Wow, you really get all of this. I mean, I was saying, wow. This makes it a whole lot easier to grasp and embrace the idea of actually doing this. So my question would be, okay, so does this apply to different kinds of coaching services out there?
Anyone with any kind of a practice that has an approach, right? You have a unique approach. If you're using somebody else's approach, then that's different. Because we don't certify that because that intellectual property belongs to that person.
Right.
But if you have created an approach that's uniquely you, then we're able to certify no matter what it is. And I can give you some examples. I've certified a graphic design coach, marketing coach, and has turned her program into certification. Another person that I work with is a tapping expert. She's a New York Times bestselling author. We got her program into a certification form and got it accredited also by the ICF. I've worked with people who deal with money, and the training techniques around that. What we have to be careful about, though, is when we're developing our program, especially if we want it accredited by the ICF, then what we have to do is to build it around competencies, coaching competencies. Now, here's another interesting tidbit that I left out before. The ICF has approximately 40,000 members. It's a lot of members, right? Now, of these people who are members, they all have to have continuing education. As a matter of fact, it's 40 credits of continuing education every 3 years. So when you're accredited, they put your listing for free in their accredited program search. So if people have a topical area, you'll show up and they can take your certification program as continuing education too. So now all of a sudden you have 40,000 more people who always need some type of continuing education. And why wouldn't it, just be your program that's there for them? So that's another kind of hidden benefit to the whole piece. So you've got passive revenue, you've got exposure to a whole new market of coaches, and you are multiplying the people that you are touching with your special message. Exactly.
And the fact that they need these units, on a regular basis, it's not just one time. They need this one. And what if your course or what you have in there is the one that they chose? So in terms of the ICF, so you need to be a certified coach, which is accredited by ICF. And
no, you don't actually. Really? So let's say that you were going to certify the magic that you do with people, right? And you're going to certify other coaches to do your magic. You personally do not have to have an ICF accreditation. What you do have to have, though, is experience. And I help you show that experience in your application. And then you need to have a program that helps coaches to continue to hone their coaching competencies. And that's what we sprinkle in all through your program. I show you how to use the ICF competencies as you're training your coaches.
Wow.
Yes. So it's really open to anyone. You do not have to have ICF certification to submit.
Yeah. Look at that. That's like huge. It opens up really a magnitude of possibilities. And I hope your listeners really get this one, because now you have this online real estate, this real intellectual property that you've created. You're all about creating courses and programs. You now have this one. So why not leverage this other avenue that has so many potentials, not just for for your visibility, but for passive income, licensing your content and having already members that are going to be tapping into you, taking your courses for their certifications. It's a no-brainer to do this. You made it so like, wow, I never thought about that. But I thought I couldn't do that. I thought my expertise or my niche is, it's excluded from there. I thought I need to be ICF certified or accredited or like that. Wow, you really trim it down to a way that we can all understand and embrace and embrace and just see the possibility of how we can apply this into our practice. So I love that. Okay, so I have a lot of other questions that I would love to ask, but you really covered everything that I would have asked myself, and I'm sure our audience too. So I wish we have like endless time here, because I could talk to you about this one nonstop. But before we wrap up and before we give them their bonus gift from you, rapid fire questions. The first one would be, what has been your best business building strategy so far? From your years of experience, I'm sure you have something that you can share with us. But what would be the best one?
Is meeting other coaches face-to-face and finding out how I can support them in growing their businesses.
Yeah.
And then the rest has followed in terms of their being very interested in how I can support them to leverage their intellectual property. So that's been my number one strategy.
I love it. Nothing beats that. Nothing beats personal interaction, personal relationships, building connections and relationships with other people. Okay. What about your best or hottest selling program so far?
Well, the hottest selling has been program certification formula. We do that in a class, but then I also have people who, very, very successful high-level coaches who don't want to attend a class. So we have a done with you process that we use, but it really is, and people love the course because it can sound like it's dry. See, I love instructional design. I love it, love it, love it. You may not. However, I make it fun and make it really easy for people to do it.
You really showed it. That even me, I was thinking, wow. I mean, I thought this was like insurmountable. I had no idea how this one works, but how you describe it and how you showed us really made it like, wow, this is a no-brainer. I can do this one now. Love it. Last but not least, what has been the biggest factor in your success as an entrepreneur?
It's the willingness to take risks. I had a mentor way back in my early corporate years, and he was the chairman of the board and took me under his wing, and I was a perfectionist, right? So that means as a perfectionist, you're not going to take risks because everything has to be measured and calculated and just to make sure that, you're not going to make a mistake. And so he told me, Sheila, you only have to be right 51% of the time. So look at this. You have 49% of the times that you take a risk, that you take a leap, because it seems right. It seems measured and thoughtful, but not everything's going to work. So if something doesn't work, be willing to sit down, call on, the advisors and colleagues that I have, get their input, and go in another direction. So it really is that willingness to make mistakes, because there really are no mistakes. It's just huge learning opportunities. And, am I going to learn or I'm going to go in the corner and lick my wounds? Well, I'm today choosing to learn.
I love that. Such a breath of fresh air to hear that, because it's so much and so often I'm guilty of this myself too, because I fear I'm going to fail. I fear I don't want to take the risk because I'm going to fail. I'm going to be helpless or useless or like that. But think about what you said, 51%. You have a room for 49% of that. I mean, almost half of that. I mean, that's such a breath of fresh air to hear that from you. So thank you for sharing that. All right, let's get to their bonus kit. I know you have something for them. Tell them where to go and also where they can learn about taking this program certification formula. Now that we've shown them, now that we've given enough information for them to make a decision and for them to be inspired of putting this one or adding this to their arsenal. Now that they have this course or program they have created, this is another strategy that they can monetize their expertise and passion. So tell them where to go, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay, good. Well, what I want to do is I want to give everybody who's listening a free report of mine, and I'm going to share the screen just so that you can see what the report looks like. And there's going to be a link right under this video. You'll see the link, and you can click on that to download my newest report, which is called Expand Your Impact Exponentially. Don't we love that? All of us expand our impacts without working harder.
Even better, without working harder. I love it.
Exactly. So this is what we have, and it's available for everyone. Once you've taken a look at that, it will lead you to be able to schedule a strategy session with me at no cost. So imagine 45 minutes with Sheila where you tell me everything you want to about your program, and we talk about, is your program even a fit to certify others to teach? So that's the gift that I have, is the giveaway, and also a strategy session with me, which will lead you once you get to the giveaway.
Oh my God, thank you for that generous offer. I mean, I wasn't expecting that free 45 minutes of your time. Thank you so much. I'm honored. I really appreciate that one. So I hope you are honest. I will have the link down below this video. All you have to do is to click that link, download the freebie or the bonus gift that Sheila's giving us, and then you will get a 45-minute free strategy session with her to find out more about program certification. Is this a fit for you? Is your business a fit for it? You know, I mean, this is you. I mean, if you want to pay time for Sheila, you and I probably won't afford that, but this is such a offer that I really want you to take advantage of. I am going to take advantage of it too, so I want you to buy it. That link is going to be down below this video. All you have to do is click that link, download your bonus gift, and then you will get instructions on how to book your 45-minute strategy session with Sheila. Sheila, you are always awesome. I mean, this has been wonderful, and I know every time I speak to you, I have gazillion great new ideas that I want to implement. I feel like I can conquer the world because you make it so easy. You know, with the way you say things, the way you show it, the way you inspire. Because I feel like, wow, this is so doable after talking to you. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
About your time. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to connecting more and supporting you in any way I can.
Thank you, Marie Grace, and thank you all for tuning in.